Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Moonee Valley City Council's public forum for the 16th of March 2021. On behalf of Moonee Valley City Council, I would like to respectfully acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which Moonee Valley is located, the Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung people of the Kulin Nation, and we pay respects to their spirits, ancestors, community members, and elders past, present, and emerging. We also extend this respect to other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. Although it is not possible for members of the public to join us in person tonight, tonight's virtual public forum will be live streamed on our website, and I extend a warm welcome to those who are watching online. The public forum provides residents with an opportunity to present to Council on topics of interest and allows for further discussion, which is not possible at a formal Council meeting. On tonight's agenda, we have a presentation from a member of the public, and then we will move to questions without notice. Now, Councillor Adams has declared a conflict of interest for the first presentation for reasons previously disclosed to the CEO, and will go into the waiting room while the presentation occurs. Thank you, Councillor Adams. So we will now move to our first presentation, and I'd like to invite Erin Rhodes to provide a presentation on a cloth nappy and reusable sanitary product rebate trial proposal. Welcome, Erin.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. My video is working. Yes. Hello. All right, I'll make this quick. Oh, it's not letting me share screen. Is this something you have to do on your end to let me share screen?
I'll just ask tech support who are in control of the meeting. Can we just make sure Erin's got the capacity to share the screen?
There we go. Yep. All right. All right. Thank you so much, councillors, for letting me come on today to chat with you why I think Moonee Valley City Council should introduce a rebate for cloth nappies and reusable sanitary products. So for those who aren't aware what a rebate is or how it works with this kind of service, it's when residents can receive up to 50% of the purchase back on new and secondhand items. Most do a limit of about $150. And these cover cloth nappies, so all ages, adults, kids as well, swim nappies, cloth wipes, nursing breast pads, menstrual cups, and also cloth pads, incontinence pads, period underwear, and period wet bags. I started a petition 4 months ago, and so far 247 Moonee Valley residents have signed it, and it is growing. The reason why I think we should be moving to more reusables and phasing out disposables, 4% of our landfill is comprised of disposable nappies. This is children and adults. 120 kilograms of pads and tampons are created by a person in their lifetime, and this doesn't include incontinence pads, which is also quite a big number. Old growth forests are used to make a lot of nappies and pads. It takes a lot of oil as well to make one disposable nappy. It requires more energy and water to manufacture, package, and transport a lot of this stuff. And there's also the high volume of plastic, and everything never breaks down. It'll last forever and ever, taking up constant landfill space. In Victoria, we have 3 councils that currently offer it: Cardinia Shire, Wyndham, and City of Casey. Last year, 3 ran the program with further trials, and they're all part of the Hardways program up north. And so far, we've got 5 councils that are looking into creating a trial as well. And 2 you will see are our neighbouring councils, Maribyrnong and Hobsons Bay. What's in it for Moonee Valley City Council? Well, when I spoke to City of Casey, Wyndham and Cardinia, they said it was great PR for them, not just locally, but also internationally. They became leaders in kind of the green space. The cost of landfill will continue to go up. This is inevitable. So a rebate will cost far less than disposing 2 tonnes of disposables. Councils will eventually be moving to a fortnightly waste pickup. This is again something that will happen, and moving to a weekly FOGO collection. So doing what we can to take as many of those disposals out, especially nappies and sanitary products, which is one of the number one issues for councils that have moved to those fortnightly waste pickups. Nappies are one of the top 3 recycling contaminants in our recycling bins. So doing what we can to remove those out would be great. It's a great conversation starter. A rebate doesn't mean we're forcing people to move to reusable nappies or to reusable menstrual products. It could be something that someone might consider, but they say, I'm not ready to do that, but maybe I'll consider doing something else, like joining the Moonee Valley Toy Library or shopping secondhand or taking a reusable cup to the shops. It helps address period poverty as well. So buying menstrual product items costs a lot of money over the course of someone's life. So if we can give them some help at the start to invest in a product that will save them a lot of money and always have accessibility to that product, is a great way to eradicate this issue. It also provides accessibility to those wanting to reduce waste but find it economically hard. What about residents? It can help save up to $3,000 on nappies. So this is how much it saved my family. And also it can save up to $100 each year on menstrual items. I've been using reusable cloth pads now for 8 years and I've saved over $900 just by making that switch. It's far more environmentally friendly, especially when things like nappies are sold on, and most nappies are sold on. There's a huge secondhand market in Australia. There's a lot less plastic. The average menstrual pad can contain up to 5 plastic bags within the pad itself, which is quite a lot. And then there's also the plastic packaging. You'll end up taking the bin out less. You'll never risk running out. And also residents will get the opportunity to learn about and hopefully support 2 businesses that manufacture cloth nappies and reusable sanitary products. All right, I was told I only had 3 minutes, so that's me. So if anyone's got any questions, you feel free to ask them now. Otherwise, you can contact me, and governance has got my contact details.
Thanks, Erin. I think you get 5 minutes, so you're well and truly.
They told me 3.
According to my notes, it's 5. So, councillors, do you have anyone have any questions for Erin in regards to the rebate proposal?
Yeah, I do, Cam. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Erin, do you know what the cost was for Casey, Wyndham and Cardinia?
No, they said that it would be hard to kind of give because it depends on like socioeconomics, also their budgets as well. So they're all been very popular, but they said it's a lot cheaper than, say, what they would spend on waste. So they do end up saving money, and it also, to them, it's a reward. So it encourages people to, as I said, they might not say, oh, I'll jump on and do a cloth nappy rebate. They might think of something else that they can do. So it's just more like an incentive or a reward for them to think a bit differently.
Any other questions, councillors? Yes, Councillor Hodgson.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks, Erin, so much for the presentation. Just wondering if you are aware of whether there's limits that Casey, Cardinia and Wyndham have put on, say, household, how many times a household could apply for the rebate?
Yep. So in all of these areas, it's 1 per household, and they're really strict about this. So obviously Casey's kind of trialed this, and they've run this for many, many years. They're kind of the leaders with it, so I think a lot of councils go to them. But yeah, they've got a very strict procedure where it's only 1. It's very hard to cheat the system, which is good, because they said at the start it was a lot more difficult to, I guess, follow things up and make sure everything's done correctly. But now they've got a strict system in place where no one's really taking advantage of it, which is great.
Thanks, Councillor Hodgson. Councillor Byrne.
Hi, Erin. Thanks for the presentation. I was just wondering, I feel some of these programs can be quite expensive for councils to implement compared to the actual uptake. Like, do you know any of the numbers from Casey of how many different families benefit?
No, they wouldn't give me those details for this presentation, but they're more than happy to chat with councils for that. But they say that they're all booked out. So they are at capacity for each one because they're so popular.
Yeah, right.
I think for Casey, their biggest uptake is actually swim nappies because the local swim schools encourage parents to get swim nappies. So yeah, you'd have to speak to each council, and obviously each one's in a very different area with different economic
needs.
Yeah.
Okay. And if we didn't roll out all of those options, would there be ones that you've heard there's been a community preference for?
Probably the nappies, though I would prefer the menstrual products. There's a slightly different one that's run up in Brisbane where they have vouchers and you go into a draw. So they obviously don't have as much funding. This is what Casey's told me up there. So they instead do a voucher system. You go into a draw and they just lucky dip it each time. But I think the families get a little bit more money through that as well.
Okay. I suppose from where I sort of sit, I wouldn't want us to spend $10,000 to $20,000 on doing a report for something that wouldn't be, the uptake wouldn't necessarily be great. I understand there's the education around it as well. Do you know if there's been any councils that have linked it in directly with the first maternal child and health visits, or any of the maternal child and health visits, I should say?
I think Casey has.
Yeah.
I do know a lot of councils who are trialling it. Well, before they start their trials, what they do is they start with some education programs just to see what, or if people are actually that interested in it. Some don't offer the menstrual products, they just do the nappies. But yeah, there's obviously, I understand the cost of it, but I guess it's more like, say for me, who I don't throw any rubbish into my bin, I don't get any reward, but I still have to pay rates for it. So I guess it's more that what Casey sees it as is you're rewarding those people who are making that conscious effort that everyone else is kind of riding on your coattails and without having to make any changes, kind of thing.
Yeah. No, I suppose if I just, I think it's great and we should be supporting these things. I just want to make sure that if we're putting dollars towards it, it's the best way possible. I'm just hard, and that's why obviously there's so many trials and whatnot that are still going on. So I'm sure we'll know a lot more in this space over the next few 5-10 years. So great. Thanks, Erin. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Byrne. Any other councillor have any questions for Erin? If not, obviously this is something councillors can take offline. Erin, just if there is anyone who is watching the public forum live or watching the replay, I know, and I've read up on your blog, you've got a few articles on this. So what's the address of your blog that people can even just access more information if they're interested?
Sure. So you can probably find most of the information for this on Facebook. So facebook.com/therogueginger. Or I've got a blog, and I will have a blog post going up because I know many other residents in other council areas want to contact their local councils to do the same. I have been told that if we can get enough councils on board, then the state government might step in to help more with this, which is my aim ultimately, because I know councils don't have the funds for this all the time. So yeah, go to therogueginger.com or Facebook Rogue Ginger.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Erin.
No worries. Thank you for having me. Good night.
So we'll now move to questions with notice, and we've received 3 questions from Nick Coombs. Now, all these items relate to greenery works near Newmarket Station. I'll just check Nick is with us, and if so, Nick, I'll get you to ask your first question. So Nick, just double checking you can hear me at your end, and if so, I'll just get you to ask your first question. IT, just checking in that we've got Nick with us, audio connected. So look, what I might do, we're just having a few issues there with Nick's connection. So I do have his question. So I'll start reading out the first question. Obviously, I will get the relevant director to read a response that will also be supplied. So Nick's first question is, what is the timeline on replacing the greenery, trees, etc. on both sides of Newmarket train station in Flemington? Is there a delay? The works were completed months ago. Plus, painting the new retaining wall on both sides of the station would be good in woodland grey colour to avoid graffiti. So that's Nick's first question, and I'll pass to Brett Walters, who is the Director of Strategy and Planning, to provide a response.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Nick, for your question. Timing for revegetation works at Newmarket train station has not yet been confirmed by Metro Trains Melbourne. Officers are scheduled to meet with Metro next week to be informed of its timeline and to better understand and resolve the delays. And regarding the suggestion about painting the walls, we'll, at that meeting, relay that to Metro.
Thank you, Brett. Nick's second question, if you're with us, Nick, and you want to ask it, if that audio is connected.
Yeah, can you hear me now, guys?
Yeah.
Sorry, I had issues with my audio. Yeah, thanks for that. So hopefully we'll get a bit more understanding of timelines on that first piece next week once you met with Metro Trains. Obviously, it's been hanging around for a little while, and I know Metro trains can be, difficult at times. But I want to make sure that the planting is included on both sides of the station and surrounds, because if you compare Newmarket v Kensington Station, there's a big difference then. There's something that as it falls in the Metro into the Moonee Valley City Council area, we should try to make it as attractive as the one that falls in Melbourne City Council down the road. Two other questions was similar. And the first one is that there's a pretty bad area at the front of Wolf and Hound there on Pinock Crescent, which again falls on Metro land. I was wondering at the same time we're talking to them regarding beautifying Newmarket station, we can look at putting some trees there as well. It's an ugly site there, and a couple of trees and a bit of dirt, etc., would make it look so much better.
Thanks, Nick. I'll again get Brett Walters, Director of Strategy and Planning, to provide a response.
Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, and thanks, Nick. Council will, of course, advise Metro of that suggestion, which is a reasonable one, and that the community would appreciate it in the area opposite Wolf and Hound coffee shop. That will be relayed.
I'm assuming you'll bring that up next week as well, and we'll see if we get some timelines from that. That'd be good. The last one I'm hoping is a little easier to answer. This is at the front of Pepper Cafe on Pinock Crescent in Flemington there. Council has put up some, I'm assuming Council's put up some flags at the front there to protect some of the vegetation. Now that's a good idea, but unfortunately the flags went up a bit late, and in between when the plantings were done and when the flags went up, the foot traffic area did destroy a lot of the plants. So it'll be good if Council can look at replacing those plants that were destroyed as part of that, and then keep the flags there, because it won't take long for those plants that you've chosen to grow sturdy enough to withstand a bit of traffic. And obviously with the plantings there, people will walk around them versus walk through them.
Brett, I might just pass to you again to answer Nick's third question.
Thank you, Mayor. The Pinock Crescent landscape is covered by a maintenance contract, which is usual for new construction. So we have that with the appointed construction contractor. So the new vegetation is still technically in its establishment phase, and we'll continue to monitor it and ensure that the replacement of the vegetation is undertaken where it's required and similarly protected per your suggestion.
Right. So obviously there were some plants there that now have been destroyed. So I'm assuming they'll replace those now. Okay. Is there a timeline on that, do you think, at this stage?
That one I will have to take on notice, unfortunately. It'll be done as promptly as possible.
Okay. If the contractor can have a look at it, it's only 6 or 7 plants that just need to be replaced. It beautifies the area. As you know, it's a busy traffic area. A lot of people coming from Newmarket Station walk past Pepper up and down Pinock Crescent. So obviously it'll beautify the area. We just need some established plants there, replace the ones that are destroyed, replace them with something they'll then establish, and then the flags come down and it should be fine. Excellent. Well, if you can let me know at some point when that'll happen, just so I can keep an eye on it, that's good. And if you can also let me know what Metro say next week, you've got my email address, and that'd be really good, because I know it's been hovering around for a little while.
Fantastic. Thanks, Nick. So, Brett, you're happy to take that offline and liaise with Nick with further information. That'd be great.
Thank you very much, guys. Do you need anything else from me?
No, that's all. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you very much,
Brett.
guys.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye.
So that brings our public forum to a close for tonight. We thank all of you watching online and those of you that have participated this evening, and good night.